Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Okay, so today I wanted to work in my children's board book, actually. My daughter works in the library and she brings home books that they would normally scrap anyway, so that's where this one came from. I've filled it up not too badly. It's getting there. It's almost towards the end. And I will show you eventually how I fixed the spine. Because, you know, it gets a little thick and then the spine doesn't want to hold anymore. But that's okay. It's still holding together. Board books are really great for mixed media because they stand a lot of abuse. So that's a good thing. This page I already gessoed, so I'm going to leave this one. We're going to go to the next one. All I want to do is I want to add some book pages to this, and then I want to just have fun with some circles that I created. So I was going through some old containers that I've had and things like that. And I had these circles cut out and I had all these squares cut out. And I thought, well, what can I do with that? So I created something a little, you know, spring-like, fun and funky. And I created these circles. I just glued them all on. It was a little tedious, but you know, when you're watching Netflix or YouTube, it's fun to just create. So it's easy peasy, and a lot of ideas come to me that way. When I find things that I've had hidden away for a while, you know, you realize, oh, I should probably either use it or recycle it or whatever. So anyway, all I'm going to do is start putting my glue stick down. Now, these book pages are really, really brittle because they're quite old. So they're perfect for gluing down, okay? Because they would break too easily. So you can go over the edge a bit and then we can just trim some of that off. See how easily that breaks? So it's okay. We can just go like that. All right. But it's so simple to just break. Now, a lot of people only ever want the text, or they want this or that or the other. But see how easy that is to just sort of take off? So you don't even need scissors. So if you don't know what to do with old book pages, putting them in board books like this is the simplest and most effective way to use them. So glue the paper first, the book page first that you're going to glue it on, and then you can just easily run your finger along the edge and then it comes right off. And you could use sandpaper if you want it. That works too. If you're not all the way towards the edge, you know, just put a little bit more on. The reason why I like doing this is because I'm not wasting any paint, and then if I want to add some color over top, I obviously could. And it would be much easier to add it to the paper. But these book pages, oh my goodness, they're so brittle. At first I wasn't sure what to do with them. And then I thought, well, I love the color of them because they have this lovely caramel color, you know, that really dark aged color look to them. It's okay if some of this is not all the way covered, because we can use the pieces that we broke off. Shh, don't tell anyone. We can use those to fill in the gaps. I love these board books. They're so much fun. But, you know, they're, sometimes, you know, they break. Go to your child or your grandchild's old books and see what you can find, because these make great art journals. You know, you could paint in them, collage in them, do whatever. But they stand the test of time. And they don't always look the greatest after, you know, a few years of a child having read them and things like that. If you want some of these upside down, absolutely you could. Or sideways, or whichever way you want to put it on. But this way, it keeps them in check. And then we can always overlap them a bit because they're already down then. And we don't have to worry about it. It's so easy, which is great. There. So simple. I gotta love that. It's saves on cutting and tearing and, you know, it's so simple to do. Saves so much time. And I love old books, but, you know, they don't really, you can't really read them. You can't handle them too much because then they'll just fall apart on you, which is really, you know, sad in a way. But I want to honor the book, and so this is how I do it. So it has a lovely texture. You can hide the orange and things like that. So all we have to do is just sort of fill in the gaps here. All right. So all these pieces that we've taken off, we're going to put in the center, because when we open and close the book, it's just going to adhere where you want it to. So you could decoupage it, of course, but then it takes a while to dry, and I don't want to wreck the paper. So I just want to have a background. Very simple, very easy. And a glue stick is your best friend here because it's nice and dry. It's a drier glue as opposed to, you know, a wet glue would just make it more fall apart because you have to apply it with a brush. So that's not the most, I want to say economical, but that's not the word. It's not the best way to use your pages, let's say. So you can just hold it like that and then just fill it in. You can always come back with some more. See what I mean? It's like it just falls apart. You just have to be careful. A little bit of gentleness goes a long way. There. So some of these gaps we can just fill in. Pull it right off. Now you can leave it as is, or you can do some gesso on top. See how that just sort of popped up? So now you go in and just place it down. It's okay, you can just glue it down. And a little bit of orange is not too offensive. If you do find it offensive, I mean, you could obviously paint it or gesso the background first. But this way, you can see how it just, all we're doing is taking those little bits off so they don't rip. There. Like that. And then you need a baby wipe or, you know, wash your hands, whatever. Because glue and all that paper just sticks. Alright. Because once your glue is on your fingers, it's very difficult to keep the papers in place because it's so brittle and just goes everywhere. Looks kind of weird, but we'll deal with it. So you can just rub off the pieces that are kind of loose. There. That's not bad. There we go. I wouldn't close the book until all of this is dry, obviously, because it'll just sort of pull off, but we'll just leave it at that. If you don't have old brittle book pages, obviously use whatever you have on hand. And then what we're going to do is use these circles because the background is nice and neutral and there is a nice bright color in behind, so I thought these would look kind of cool. Either like that or you could cut them. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. You can keep them whole if you want, but because it's pretty much laid out like a grid, you can just follow the lines like this. I love circles for this kind of thing. It just automatically looks cool. Oops, sorry about that. You do as many or as few as you like. But I used all these bright colors. Like I have this whole paper stack of bright colors, like really, really bright, almost like neon colored cardstock. And I've been playing with it, just having fun with it. And then, you know, just seeing what I can do. So if you go near the center, make sure you're off a little bit so you're not too close, because otherwise the book will pop open in the back and along the spine too much, and you don't want that. Not 100% anyway. So that's pretty cool. Now here, because this is a thicker paper now, right, because you added all the cardstock and everything, I'd probably tend to use something more along the lines of actual glue instead of the glue stick. So something more wet is needed here. I just really like how this contrasts with the backing. Again, when I do my pages, I don't always tend to finish everything right away. Not always does it have to have a quote or things like that. I mean, art journaling is just about, you know, having fun and experimenting and expressing how you feel, or, you know, trying different things, whatever floats your boat kind of thing. It is open to interpretation. So later on, if I find a quote that I really enjoy, I can always add that to it. And then, you know, I don't feel like I'm stressed and I need to find something and need to finish it all in one go, because I find that too stressful personally. But because I did these circles and I, you know, used bits of scrap paper that I had left over from some other project at some point, I don't know from what, but you know, it's been sitting around in one of my junk drawers for ages, so I figure, well, I might as well use it, because otherwise I'm just going to throw it out, because I don't know what else I'm going to use it for. So, you know, this is a good way of going through your scraps and going through your things on a regular basis, because you don't know what you have. You could have started a project somewhere and realized, oh, well, I don't want to do it right now. So, you know, this is half the fun. So go through your drawers, go through your, you know, those projects you never really finished, and see if you can make something else out of it, you know, something that will please you. You know, finish up an art journal. Let's say you only have a couple of pages left over, which I have a lot of art journals that are like that. And now I'm filling them up with different things that I've just sort of, you know, found and create something with, which is, you know, gets those creative juices flowing and gets you in the mood to create, which is a lot of fun. And come up with some really interesting ideas. I never thought I'd use these bright, bright colors for this, but, you know, here we are. It's the contrast of the bright and the dark caramel color that I really enjoy in this, so that's kind of cool. And you can't see that, sorry about that. Okay, so very simple art journal page. You could do a quote, you can do whatever you like. Again, you know, a lot of my pages I haven't done a quote, so there's a tour of this, but I don't always do a quote. It's just having fun with pattern and color and different things like that. So yeah, this is a different idea. Just some things that I've been cleaning up and finding around the studio, and just, you know, using the contrast between old and new, and or modern. So, and just having fun and filling up another page in the hopes that I can fill this, you know, soon and be done with it, and then I can do the cover and show you how to do that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this idea and you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.